Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a quick little chunked video for your assessment 2. You are to create a inspirational quote using typography that's going to visually and verbally express what that quote's all about. So we're going to go to File, New, and in your instructions you are to set this at pixels. So you're going to want to change this. When you go to File, New, go ahead and go to the right side of your panel and choose pixels instead of inches, and then type in 1080 by 1080 as the instructions tell you to do. So pixels, pixels, one artboard, everything else is good, click create. This is going to create a square, and the reason why we do pixels is because this is for use on the web. You can use this as a meme. All right, so choose your quote, whatever quote that you want. Keep it very simple. You don't want it to be really super long. Take your type tool, click one time on your artboard, and paste this in here. Now mine's already set because I already thought about the font that I wanted, but my quote is, just because you're alive doesn't mean you are living. Now you can see that I set this top type in a very neutral font, Avenir Next. It's actually even smaller. So if you go up to your window and you choose type, bring up your character panel, this will help you. And this is where if you click on the upper right hand corner of this panel, you can show more options here too. But this is where you can choose the type of font that you want. So emphasize a keyword or keywords within your quote. You might want to keep some of it neutral to emphasize it. You are living, I chose great vibes, and I'm at a 200 point for that type of font. Making sure that it's all pretty close together. I could probably ring this in a little bit more. So I'm going to select you are living, and I'm going to pull up the leading here just a little bit more. So the leading is in your character box. This is the space in between your two lines of text. This is your point size of your type. So pulling this up a little bit will help it to be read a little bit easier together. Alignment. So if I select all with my, just dragging it over, my alignment in my paragraph panel, which is over there in my properties, let's bring this up as a separate box here though. If I go to type and choose paragraph, I'm choosing center. If I did left align, it would, go left align. If I did right align, kind of play around with that, see how that all works. Another thing I wanted to point out, which is definitely important, is your quotes. You want to use smart quotes, okay? You want to use quotes on your quote because it's a quote. Go ahead and do a separate box. So use your type tool, click one time on your artboard, and what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit bigger. So this is actually Greek text that you see here, so just kind of ignore it. It's just for placement only. And what we're going to do is we're going to do shift, and we're going to do the quote. Now you can see that it looks kind of like a weird kind of looking quote, but it's a quote. So we're going to change this to be a smart quote. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to type with that selected, and you're going to go insert special character, and you're going to go to quotation marks. And we want to use, since this is the first quotation mark, we want to do double left quotation marks. Okay, so that's a smart quote. And we want to change this so that it looks like a really pretty little quote here. So we're going to use a more scripty font for this. So Great Vibes is one that I would use. That's on my computer. You might not have this on yours because I think I downloaded that separately. And then I'm going to increase the size here. Let's see, I'm going to go, 200. You can go super, super big with these if you want. And I'm just going to add this over here to the left anywhere. So it's kind of nice. You can adjust this. I'm going to do an option drag to copy that same quote. So I don't have to do it over again. I'm going to highlight it with my type tool. Just drag over. I'm going to go back to up to type. I'm going to do the same thing. Only this time I'm going to choose insert special character, quotation marks, double right quotation marks. So it's the ending quotation marks. I'm going to switch that to. I'm going to position it over here. So that'll, once you move it, if you move this around your artboard, just make sure you're moving those quotes along with it. Pull that in so that it's right next to it. There we go. Now you can change the color of your type. Right now mine's set to like a deep blue. I don't know if you guys can see, that's like a purple. I'm going to add this to my color swatches. So I'm going to go ahead and, okay, I think it's already in there. So let's go to swatches. See my deep blue, purple. Oh, it's already selected. It's right here. There's my purple. So I want to just make sure that my quotation marks are also set at purple because right now they're black. It's hard to see. Okay. Another thing I want to do is maybe do a real simple background, but kind of allow it to again, visually, because, you know, color is super important in design. Color can also express emotions as well. I'm going to do a bright yellow color. And I'm not going to use layers right here. So you can see, like, because I'm not using layers, whatever I put on top of this, like this square here, it's going to go cover it. Simple thing to fix. If you're doing that as a second step here, just select your square or whatever you're trying to do to move it. Go up to Object and choose Arrange Send to Back. You don't want to go to Send Backwards because that's going to step it. So it'll kind of only put it back towards certain things, not the whole entire what's behind there. So Send to Back will allow it to go behind it, okay? And then do you remember when I showed you the gradient options in the last video? Let's go ahead and put a gradient on this, make it look a little bit more exciting here. Gradient, so we're gonna pull and drag this color into our gradient bar. I'm gonna get rid of the black, we don't need that. And I'm gonna do just like a circular gradient. Voila, so it could be as simple as this. Just because you're alive doesn't mean you're living. So this could be, your quote can be as simple as this. Just make sure your alignment is consistent, meaning, you know, you don't want, you know, sporadic words all around the page. You want it to be aligned nicely so it reads quickly. Make sure you have your quotes on there. Sometimes students leave that off. Emphasize certain parts of each word. You don't have to change the font, but maybe you change the color of it. You know, maybe that changes to a different color, you know, play around with that. You can show emphasis in different ways. It could be either by color, boldness, you know, scale, where it is in the location of your artboard. So there's different options that you can choose to emphasize keywords, but definitely emphasize keywords. It doesn't have to be, you know, a bunch of words. It could just be one word that you're emphasizing, but make sure it looks like what it's saying. So think about adjectives. When I think of living, I think of, you know, free form or humanistic side. So that's kind of why I went with the script, you know, maybe more of a hand-drawn type of a look too. So that's why I went this way. Okay, so have fun with this. You know, you could do all kinds of, I kept mine pretty simple. You know, you can really play around with this. You can put borders on this. You know, there's all kinds of different things that you can do, but make sure it makes sense for your, for your actual quote. You know, if it's too many colors, it might distract from the actual message. And we don't want that either, right? We want it to be, we want that message to be clear as far as the quote goes. We want it to make sense for it. But play around with it, have fun. This is where you're kind of experimenting with your tools and doing different things. You might even want to look up inspirational quotes, say on Pinterest, or do a Google image search just to see maybe if there's other people who are doing, you know, really neat little social media memes that you can kind of be inspired by. All right, thank you.